Okay, hello folks, welcome and thank you for finding Forever Connected. I'm Lisa and I'm here to talk about people as they age and lose their hearing and how you can more effectively communicate with them and never lose connection, thus the name Forever Connected. I will always like to start these videos with a few tips. Do not yell. If somebody can't hear you, they can't hear you. And if you start yelling, it actually makes it worse. It distorts what you're saying and it makes it harder for the person to understand. So yelling does you no good and it's not fun. So stop yelling, they can't hear you. The other thing to know is to don't overemphasize your mouth movements. If you think they'll understand you better by doing this, you're wrong. These people have been around for a lot of years. They've been watching normal mouth movements, and if you start doing overemphasizing, then it makes it actually worse. And then the third tip is just to make sure they know you're talking to them. Get their attention, make sure they're looking at you so they can piece together what you're saying. So those are my three main tips that I want to get out to the entire world. I want to change the world. I want the people who are losing their hearing to not be so isolated and to be connected to those that they love. So that's just a quick introduction to what we're about. So today we're going to talk about kids and let's say grandparents or any aging person in their life who's losing some hearing. How can these kids still tell grandma and grandpa their stories? How can these kids be engaged in their parents' or grandparents' activities? So this is my lovely assistant Dylan. I've asked him to come along and I'm going to basically teach him and he's going to teach me how we might be able to interact as my hearing starts to go, because to me, I'm grandma, he's my grandson. Blood doesn't matter, we just love each other and we'd never want to lose connection, right?
That would suck.
Yeah, it would. So what's really important, all you kids, make sure that you still have fun. The people that I'm talking about might be embarrassed, they might be mad, they might be frustrated because they've been able to hear and function their whole life and now they're at a point where they can't the way that they used to. So if you can keep it fun, then they're going to want to keep engaging. So make sure that you make it fun. Make sure that if they're scared or frustrated that, maybe you just need to say, it's okay, let's figure this out together, because it's hard to lose your hearing. It's hard to lose some function.
I feel like it's like that with every function. Like people always get frustrated because people treat them different and they'd rather be treated normal.
Yeah.
Because it's annoying to like having people like yell louder at you and like move your lips. It's like talking to a foreign person who doesn't speak English. They have no clue what you're gonna say.
Right, good point, really good point. So, be kind, go into it being kind. These are people hopefully that you've got a connection with, but when I was growing up, I wasn't raised with my mom's side of the family, so I didn't know that grandma. And she came in when I was in my late teens, maybe 20s. And she had been losing her hearing and she couldn't hear me, so I just didn't talk to her because I didn't know her, so there was no heart connection. And I feel bad about that. I wish I would have known better. So I'm here to help people like you know better and do better. One thing that it can also help is to find a well-lit place. So let's say I came to your house and your house can be loud and chaotic, right?
Very.
And let's say I'm having trouble understanding what you're trying to tell me. Maybe you want to tell me about some sport thing you went to, or I know we talked on the way here, you went and saw the hydroplane races last year. And maybe you want to tell me some of what you're doing, but there's just way too much. Find another place. Take me into downstairs. Make sure the lights are up nice and high. That's an important thing you guys should remember. A quiet, well-lit place. So if you've got a family gathering and there's noise, it's going to be harder for the people who are losing some hearing to understand. So get them into a quiet, well-lit place to help them use the vision they have to try to piece things together. Use props. Your sister loves to draw. If she was trying to tell me a story and she grabbed her crayons and drew me a picture of what I couldn't quite understand, that would be helpful.
I feel like showing a video too, like even though you were at my basketball game, you still might have recorded that, or my parents might have recorded a video of me doing basketball, and then I could always show you the video and try to explain what's happening, but it wouldn't be like I have to explain every single thing because you're watching it with me.
Right. Or if there was a moment in that game that you want to make sure maybe I saw it, maybe I didn't. Yeah. But yeah, if you could find that moment. And while you're at it, let's say you're showing me that on your phone, you could, close the video, open just a note and write. This is where I made that basket, let's say, and then show the video. So if they can't hear everything, it's a great idea. You guys, this generation is so great with technology. You can always grab a tablet or a phone or a piece of paper and write down what you're trying to get across to someone. Again, your stories, your life, we want to know. And that doesn't change just because we've lost some hearing or lost some vision or anything else. We still want to know. So the props that I had in mind is pictures, videos. I know all of us walk around with our phones. You finally got a phone. I love that. Texting my little guy during the day is awesome. But even like I said, drawing things. If you know you're going to see me and you know you want to tell me about something, you know, bring something along to show me part of your story. So tablets, you know, video games. I know you're always trying to, at least trying to share with me stuff, and you've got those crazy little siblings trying to get my attention as well. But just think about making it visual. You know, act it out if you have to. You know, whatever works. Let's see, what have we done together? I know that you and my husband, lovely Barrett, have played chess together. What if Barrett couldn't hear you very well anymore? What types of cues go along with like playing chess with Barrett that you might be able to do to help him know? Give me an example. What might you want to say to Barrett?
Maybe for a check, I could probably like tap him and then I could explain to him the check, or I could do like a check mark. And then for checkmate, I could probably like tap his shoulder to make sure that he sees it and realizes it, and put like a W up for a win because you won the game if you checkmate them.
Yeah. And that's good. You're bringing up some of those ideas. Like I said, how do you get their attention? And that's a really important part of talking to anybody who's lost some of their hearing. Make sure they know you're talking to them. So how would you, if I'm not looking at you, Dylan, and you want to tell me something, how might you get my attention?
So if you're busy, I'm gonna leave you alone for a couple seconds. Like if you're talking to my siblings, I know my sister's just gonna keep on nagging you. So I would wait for you to finish talking with her, try to maybe tap you, and if you're still busy, leave you alone for a couple seconds. And a lot of the time you're good with it and you'll like come back like, okay, what did you want to say? But if you're just not doing anything and you're free to talk, I would like grab your shoulder, because if I just like tapped you, you could think it's a nudge. Like even walking, like you'll bump into people. They're not sure if it's like, hey, look at me, or if it's just like you accidentally walked into them.
Okay.
So I feel like just tapping them on the shoulder would be the best.
That's great.
Because it's like whenever someone's trying to talk to me, especially if it's like really important, it's like a tap on the shoulder to get their attention.
That's great. That's awesome. Another thing that, like I've said in other videos, and in case you haven't seen other videos, I'm a sign language interpreter, and I've been in the deaf community for 25 years. And a couple of ways they use to get attention if they can't hear it is they'll flash the lights. They'll also stomp on the ground, especially if there's a looser floor, a softer floor. Yeah. Sometimes people that are losing their hearings can hear really sharp sounds, so clapping your hands or whistling sometimes can get them to look at you. Ask somebody who's closer to them. If you want to, you know, that guy over there's attention, you get somebody else, hey, tap him and get him to look at me. But yeah, getting them to look at you is really crucial so that they can piece together what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Try to think of what else we use for getting attention. Waving a hand, you know, even going into a room. You know, if you wanted to, let's say I had come to spend the weekend, wouldn't that be fun? Come to spend the weekend and I had my own room and the door was closed and I couldn't hear very well, so knocking wasn't going to do you much good. You can open the door and grab the light switch.
Yeah, and just
flip it on and off, and that would make me look and see what's going on. So yeah. Waving your arm inside a door is a really good one. So great ideas, and other games, like let's pretend you were a lot younger and you and I were going to play Go Fish. Yeah. And with Go Fish, it'd be pretty easy because you're going to just ask, do you have any 3s or do you have any 4s? Or
so for king, I was thinking like 5 fingers.
Oh, I like it, like the crown.
A queen is 4, a jack could be 3, an ace, you could probably just do A, and then like all the numbers you can obviously do on your fingers.
Right.
And if you play the ace as a 1, which I usually do 13, you could just put like a finger out, maybe for 1. And then if you're playing Go Fish and they can't hear, you could like tap them and point to the pile for them to pick it up.
Great. And again, you know, some people would be more into acting things out, like maybe your little sister Grace would be more about learning the sign for fish, or maybe she'd want to pretend to be fishing and casting a rod out there. But again, making it fun, making it accessible, and not depending on talking so much, but more on action. I will do a video teaching you numbers. Numbers are really, really complicated, or they can be. They can also be really easy. You wanted to go outside, play in the yard. Me and your Grandpa Barrett are sitting there and you want us to go with you. Is it
Maybe like a come on, like a come
act
on.
Act it out, come on.
Yeah, like get over here.
Hand me my coat and say,
Yeah.
come on, you know.
I feel like for chess too, it's really good because chess, it could take their mind off of like, I can't hear anymore. Also in chess, you should already be quiet. Golf would be good. You could always just play golf. If not golf, you could play putt-putt. And even though putt-putt, you don't really need to concentrate, it's still kind of like golf. And it's a game where you're not required to talk.
Right. There's
Right.
not a lot of interacting.
It's not like playing a football with your family where you have to like kind of talk, you know, like pass over here, or maybe in basketball the same way,
Yeah.
or soccer, but it's just so much easier for golf and for chess because chess also, like, it gets your mind off of everything.
You can't think of much else. You're
Yeah.
busy plotting those moves
It's
further
difficult,
and further.
but it's fun. Also, it's just an easy way to spend time together, so
Yeah.
you don't need to talk and you could just have a good time not talking.
Great ideas. Great ideas. See, now I'm not afraid to lose my hearing.
Or
I
maybe
got you.
checkers. If
Checkers?
chess is too
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
checkers works.
So I want to teach you a few signs because in the future you might want to interact with me in that way. So this is with 2 thumbs up. You got to do it with me.
This
Game.
game.
That means just game, like any kind of game. It could be a football game, it could be a chess game. That's just a general word for game, a general sign for game. And then some of the other ones, video games. I've seen a few, and I know you love video games, and I try to be interested. I'm always interested because it's you, but I don't know much about video games. Sometimes you'll see it like the controller.
Yeah, like the old like joysticks.
Other times you'll just see this. They'll have the newer game ones where you've got the buttons. So I think there's probably more signs, but that's not something I need to know much about. This is the sign for play. It's just, yep, play. And you could play around with it. You go, let's play, make fun. But the core sign is just play. This is the sign for I love you. I know you know this one because I've been doing this to you since you were tiny.
Sometimes when my mom's taking a break outside, I'll just randomly go up to the window and just say, I love you.
That's the beauty of sign language. You could talk to people through windows. When my son was in hockey when he was little, like maybe 6, 7 years old, you know, being able to talk to him through the glass and, you know, give him, yeah, hit him back. No, anyway, hockey, woohoo. So that's I love you. And the reason, folks, that this is I love you in sign language is it's the letter I, the letter L, and the letter Y all put together. I love you. And it can be used as a romantic love. I love you. It can be used as a family type love. It can also just be used when somebody maybe the barista makes your drink so well that you're just so happy. It can be this is so great. So it could be used to express appreciation as well. It doesn't have to just be romantic love. So music, which is what I'm all about.
Music like this.
Yeah. So that means music.
That one doesn't make sense. I guess you could be like flipping the book, or
Oh.
maybe it's like a conductor with the book right here. Like I'm thinking like orchestra wise, but you could be like, they'd have, I forgot what it's called, to like,
The baton.
yeah,
when
like the
they're doing
baton to
this.
like
Yeah.
show what they're doing with
Yeah.
the book right here.
Yeah, and I want to say that this is great, Dylan, because if you can kind of make in your own mind whether his examples or my examples work for you, when you're trying to memorize a lot of this stuff, if you can come up with something in your head that makes sense to you, regardless of the sign or what we might say, then that can help you really remember it. So that's great. You'll just, okay, music. So pets, we all love our pets, and I will be doing a video of just a bunch of different animals, but for now, the most common pets is dog. So you're just calling them.
Maybe, yeah,
Sometimes you
get
pat
over
your
there.
leg first, like, come here, dog. So,
Yeah.
dog. And then cat is their whiskers.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah. So kitty cats, you can use both hands.
both things.
Yeah. So I know how much you love your little brother. He's got the cutest little brother, 2-year-old Ezekiel. So this is the sign for brother. You make these hand shapes. Looks like L's on both hands. You put one on your forehead. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. Dominant hand always does most of the movement. And then you just bring it down to the other hand. So that's brother.
Brother. That
And-
makes no sense to me.
Well, let me make it sense to you. It originally was the sign for boy,
Boy.
same. So you would do boy,
Oh,
same.
boy as in
boy,
brother.
same family. That, you know how like do not versus don't?
Yeah.
Sign language has the same thing. So instead of boy, same, it just through the years has become something kind of like that, where it just has become brother. And boy signs are all at the top of your head. Male, any kind of male signs are above your ears. Female signs are below. So I just taught you the sign for brother. What do you think the sign for sister is?
I don't know, maybe on the chin.
Ah, you got it. Sister.
Chin, sister.
Yep, good job. Mom.
Mom.
Mm-hmm. And
Female.
uh-huh.
How does this relate to it though?
I wonder, mom, parents. Well, dad's up here. I don't know. That some signs don't make sense, I will say. But mom and dad, male, female, female, male, mom and dad. And then if you pull it away from your chin, grandma and grandpa.
So for great grandma, do you just pull it away more?
No, you got to add in more signs. But the difference between mom and grandma is this is the sign for old. So basically you're doing mom old. So it's an older mom, but
Yeah.
grandma. Grandpa, friend, 2 fingers like this.
I think I've seen that one before.
Yeah, I'll bet you have.
This one makes sense. Close, like you're close. Like people will say like you're like this, you're close.
And people will use that as well. Friend, sometimes you'll see people just like so good friends. You're just tight.
Just close.
You're just tight, yeah. Okay, so I already talked about boy, and the reason that that is the sign for boy is a baseball hat. Little boys with their baseball hats. So that's the sign for boy.
Like that.
Uh-huh, just like you're grabbing your baseball hat. And then girl is this. And that's related to the old days when girls had those little bonnets that tied under their chins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just in relation to that bow under their chin. So we talked about the sign for game.
Yeah.
So now if you make it more competitive, it's sports.
Sports.
Yeah.
Like a sports game.
Yeah. So this is just challenging, back and forth, back and forth.
Is there a way to do a specific sport? Because instead of saying sport, how would I say like hockey?
Hockey. Good
There's no
question.
ball related.
You've got the ice rink.
Yeah, ice.
You've got your hockey stick. Hockey.
For hockey.
Yep.
Does it have to be like this, or can it has to be specifically like this?
No, if you're showing it, as long as you're not changing it too much, if you do just one stroke, what could that be?
Golf.
Yeah, you got it, golf. Yeah, so hockey on the ice rink. I know I watched you play basketball. Basketball is like this.
Okay, maybe you're shooting.
Yep, you're getting ready to shoot, you're just basketball.
I mean, that's not how you shoot, but you're still
That's how I shoot, that's why I miss.
You're still putting it up there.
Phew.
Yeah.
Okay, so basketball, what else?
How would football?
Football. And you can picture the lines.
The laces on it? Or?
Oh, see, I always pictured the 2 lines, the scrimmage line, and they're coming together and like clashing
That
in the
makes
middle.
sense, but I also think of like the laces
football.
on
I like
football.
it. And again, whatever works, whatever helps you remember is great. I'm going to quiz you on all of it. No, I'm not. Speaking of quizzing, wait, were there other sports you want to know? Baseball.
How would soccer work?
Soccer is
Something
like
with your
this. Yeah, there's no signs that actually use your feet that I can
Really?
think of. It's all on your hands, it's all upper body.
I feel like that'd be an improvised one. Like if I spoke like very improper ASL and I'm like forgetting how to do soccer, I feel like I could just use my feet
Absolutely.
to just show you like
And-
soccer.
Perfect, Dylan. And that's the thing, you guys, make it up. You're not learning sign language. I'm teaching you some signs in hopes that you'll be able to communicate better. But make things up. The point is to communicate. The point is to connect and stay connected. So absolutely, if you wanted to tell me about your soccer game and you didn't know the sign for soccer, which is just to kick something, then yeah, act it out. When you did that, I could totally picture soccer. I told you I was going to quiz you. So let's do a few school signs.
All right.
Yay, you're on break. You can handle some school signs.
No, I
So
can't.
this is the letter M, 3 fingers over your thumb.
That.
And if you do it on both hands, and then you just basically go like this, and it's like you can,
That.
good, math.
What does this have to do with math? Just 2 random M's.
Well, it's
colliding.
kind of, it's interesting. It's kind of putting together the sign for to figure something out. This is just to figure something. It's one of those signs that doesn't really have any core to it that I know. So you're figuring that if you,
figuring out M.
by initial, it's called initializing, where you add the first letter of something to make it more clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, math is a good example. If you didn't do the M's, then you're just figuring. And this is also multiply. So,
How do you do it again? Like this?
yep, beautiful. well done.
For writing also, if it's like another one, like just to make it up, when you write, you obviously write like this. I feel like this would be good, unless this is like another specific sign that means its own thing. I feel like I could just tell you I did this.
Yep, writing.
So we don't have to keep track of every single word. We could just like dumb it down, because it's not like we're at a business meeting and we're speaking like fluently.
Right.
It's almost like an inside joke, but inside language.
Right, and the thing is that most people, as they lose some of their hearing, they're still piecing together. You know, it's not like they forgot how to talk. You know, if I lose my hearing, I'll still know how to talk to you. So I'll still have that advantage that I can talk to you. But also, if I'm piecing it together, you might do something, I'll go, oh, was that a soccer game? And you can either say yes or no. So it's not, you're right. You're
Almost
not
like charades.
Yeah, it is like charades. It is. Writing, of course, the way things are changing, you know, this is writing, but now everybody's typing, you know, and same with the signs for picture through the years, taking a picture. A camera has always been this forever, because the cameras used to be these big bulky things that you push the button on.
Now it's just this.
Now it's hold your phone and push. Now the younger folks are doing this for pictures. PE and gym, it's an exercise thing, so it's just basically exercise.
Exercise like that.
Yeah, just exercise. And then art is like art. This is your canvas, this is what you're drawing on, and you're using whatever pencil, pen, paintbrush, and you're just drawing art.
Just drawing like that.
Yep. And again, what's interesting when you think about this, yes, I know sign language, so if you were to learn a bunch of sign and you wanted to talk to me, that would work. But most people in your life don't know sign language, so it is going to require you to figure things out, write things down, act them out, do whatever it takes.
Maybe I could finger spell art too, because art's such a small word.
That's true.
That I feel like when I spell something out to my mom that I only want her to know, not my siblings, and it's like spelling out a small word. Sometimes it can get confusing and take like a couple of seconds for them to process what you have just said.
That's true.
So you could, since art is such a small word, you could just spell it out. I don't know how to sign it.
However,
maybe if you don't know how to finger spell, like A is pretty simple. Like to give it a hint that it's art, so like A, and then like instead of doing it like, how did you do it?
oh, art?
Art, like this. You could do like a splatter art, but isn't that like something else too?
No, that's not another sign. And the thing is, again, I want you to be able to communicate with whoever it is. And like I've been teaching some videos about, you know, going into a room with an elderly person and wanting them to know I'm there to check on their medicine and using the sign for medicine. But that person may not know that sign for medicine.
Pill?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But so for you, you know, as we go along and you know me until I'm old and can't understand a darn thing, you know, it's just going to be important that you teach me what you're trying to tell me. Take the time, slow down, have fun, be playful, and don't make it worse by giving up. Don't give up.
Another thing that could work is Google Translate, even though it's like hard. Maybe if there's like a really hard thing to do that you're like, there's no way I can sign this out to you. Like a surgeon like slicing you open and pulling you and like taking stuff out. Maybe you could do that, but if you like really weren't able to do that, you could put it in Google Translate.
Absolutely.
You know, put surgeon. Or like if it's a really long thing and it's just you're having a lot of trouble with like the other things, you could always just type it in.
Yeah.
And they could understand that.
Absolutely. Because like I say, we don't lose our ability to read. We might lose some of our vision. You know, remind if your grandparents are coming over to visit and you get a chance to talk to them beforehand, tell them, grab your hearing aids and your glasses. I want to be able to play with you, you know, just to remind them, because a lot of times they don't, or they don't want to because they're embarrassed. You know, make it fun, make it loving, make people comfortable with it. I told you on the way here, we talked a little bit about video games. We haven't really talked about maybe watching your favorite movie together, or just that the TV's on, watching football on
maybe like
Christmas
a
Day.
click for, and then the football sign, which was this. So click.
That was good.
Football.
Yeah, yeah. And also captioning. One thing that I was telling him on our drive up here is that since 1995, I think, 1995, all TVs in America are required to have captioning. So if you don't think that your TV has captioning, you're wrong, unless you have one of those big old boxy TVs. Now, not everything has been captioned, so there's older movies that don't have captioning, but all TVs have captioning. So get some young person to figure out how to turn the captioning on the TV, and everybody can enjoy it a little bit more. So
whenever I can't figure out something on the TV, I start clicking buttons. Like on Netflix, if you go to the top right, for a while I didn't know how to do it, so when I was 7 years old, I would just start clicking stuff to see what it did, and that's how I figured out subtitles.
That's what I love about young people. I'm always like, but what if I break it? And young people are like, what? They click on everything. Cool. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this one, and thank you all for being here and watching us. Thank you, Dylan, so much for helping me out and coming up with some great ideas. And just remember to make it fun, make it light, and go to our website, foreverconnected23.com, and find some more videos and more information, and just keep learning and keep engaging with those that you love and care about. Thanks. Bye. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.